and then slaughtering's prohibited. I thought that was really funny. So I'm not quite sure what you do with the roosters that you got by mistake. So when they're 4 months old, I guess you just put them out on the Jordan Parkway. I don't know what you do. You can't keep them any longer. Maybe you take them to the city-county building. I think that's probably what you do. You take them to the South Jordan City building, and that's where you give them the roosters. Here's my 4-year-old rooster. Please take it. And, you're done. But, so I'm not sure what you do. I'm guessing you probably learn how to slaughter, or you find somebody who can take it to them to slaughter. Next slide.
There's a lot of roosters on KSL.com.
There will always be roosters. Yeah. I mean, and roosters aren't bad. They grow faster. They get bigger. So if you want them for meat, that's a good chicken. Hens alone cost more. Okay? So where do you purchase chickens? IFA has chickens there for the last month. That's pretty early. I mean, I think trying to keep chicks in March and February quite a bit of work. My wife does not like that box of chickens under the kitchen table. I mean, after a week, they get big, and they have a lot of dander, and they start really stinking, no matter how much you clean them up. Even when you put them in the garage, after the month it usually takes for them to feather out, and they grow pretty fast, you'll have dust over everything, a dander in the garage. So, anyway, let's get back to the purchasing of your chicks. I usually buy 25 chicks at a time. And so again, you probably want to talk to your friends. You can mail order these. I really like McMurray Hatcheries, Murray McMurray Hatcheries. I don't think that address is right, so you'll have to go look at it again. But they send you 25 chicks. They throw in an extra couple of roosters because they can't get rid of them. They call them bonus or surprise roosters. And they are sort of cool. I really like the roosters. They're some exotic breed. You might get the Polish with that big hat. So they're fun to have. But again, you're going to have to part with them at some point. So if that's too much, you may give those to somebody else because you do have to get rid of them. But you'll have 25 chicks. They come in a shoebox. They always come on Sunday. I don't know why, but that's the best. I don't have to go to priesthood on Sunday. I get to go pick up the chicks from the post office. But for some reason, they always end up coming on Sunday. And you can then also choose what breeds you like. Okay, and there's a whole bunch of different types of chickens. And there's types of chickens that do better here in our cold climate, will lay better, and you'll have a better experience with. So what type of breeds? I have had a lot of different types of chickens. I've had the Barred Rocks. It's the black and white chicken. I really like that chicken. It's pretty. I've had Plymouth Barred Rocks. They're green and brown plumage. Really a pretty color, some reds in them. They didn't lay as well, but a real pretty chicken. And right now I have what they call sex link chickens. And what that is, they're black star or red star. They're genetically engineered so that all the females of the black stars are black. The males, the roosters, are a different color. And so they can sex them perfectly for you. And the red stars, or females, are all red, or that type of color. But what I really like about them, they lay well, and they don't fight. I mean, they're just really gentle. They don't peck. The Barred Rocks are a fairly gentle chicken, but they still have a pretty strong pecking order. So the one who's on the bottom is a pretty mangly looking chicken, losing lots of feathers and is beat up a lot, doesn't do as well. But with these red stars and black stars, I couldn't tell you who the bottom of the pecking order was and who the top of the pecking order. And they're good with everybody. I can pick them up, I can carry them, and they're easy to deal with. Okay? So I like those right now, and they produce pretty well. Chicks. When you get chicks, and you don't have to get chicks, KSL.com, you can go buy full-grown chickens right now if you want. Chickens lay well for 2-3 years. I usually sort of recycle mine every 2 years because they stop laying as frequently. The eggs get bigger the older the chicken is. And I also just like having chicks. My grandkids like having the chicks. It's sort of fun.
So what do you do with them?
We eat them.
Alive?
No, I guess I can't. I have a half acre, so I can do, I guess, what I like with them. So you can bring them over to my house, and I've got a good chopping block. I'll show you how that works. That's a great scout activity, too. It's funny seeing that big football player faint and the little runt guy out there taking care of everything. But raising chickens, it really isn't that tough. Find a big box. So a TV box over at RC Willie works just fine. Put newspaper down on the bottom. You need to have a feeding trough. Plastic ones nowadays, so they clean real easy. They're about a foot and a half, 18 inches long, with lots of little holes in them that red. A heat lamp. The red lamp does work better. It stops the chickens from pecking at each other as much. And so you can get those at IFA. And then you need a watering trough or something for water. So you get a jar, and it screws onto a little mason jar, and it screws on, and it'll water them, and that's what you need. The chicks come in Sunday morning right in the middle of church. You're out at the post office grabbing them. You got to take everyone else in the family out so they can come help you with it. And you have to teach your chickens how to eat and how to drink. They don't know how. A day-old chick, right when they hatch, are thrown in the box, and they're shipped to you, and you get them the next day. So you're getting day-old chickens at your house, and they've never eaten, and they've never drank any water. All they're living off is the rest of the yolk that hasn't been assimilated yet. So the day you get them, you're their mom, and you're going to teach them how to eat and drink. And it's real easy. You grab the chick, sort of hold them with the body there, head here, your fingers right above the head, and you just put them in the water, and you dip their head under, and you take them out. That's how you teach them how to drink. As soon as you put their beak in the water and sort of peck it for them, they know how to drink. To eat, just throw a little bit of the chicken scrap or the chicken food, feed on the floor, and just go like that. And before long, they know how to peck, and they're all done. So you're now the mother chick. Now, the one thing they do imprint. So if you have a child or somebody you're trying to have an experience with, let them do it, and they'll be the one who they follow around, and they will imprint to them. So the more you handle them as chicks, the better. As far as imprinting and dealing with them long term, if you're planning to eat them, that's not a good idea. Don't name them. Don't name them something like Thanksgiving, 4th of July, barbecue, you know, lemon chicken, you know, something. So you get the right idea from the get-go. Okay, next slide. Again, the shelter. If you're getting a chicken now, it is cold. Okay, they have to have a heat lamp at about 100 degrees. You're not going to be able to keep them outside very easily. Okay, you're not going to be able to keep it warm enough any place. But so we put a box in the garage for a little bit of time. If you wait until April, you can go ahead and put them out in that chicken coop in the box. Try to close up the chicken coop as much as possible so there's not a little wind in there. Big extension cord with the heat lamp, and they'll be just fine. Okay, it'll never get that cold that there'll be any problems. The first few days, I'd leave them someplace like the garage, but after a week, they've started feathering out. I mean, they change overnight. So every week, somebody comes to look at your chickens, and everybody will want to come see them. They look a lot different. They grow very fast. Chicken coop. This is what my chicken coop looks like. It's a big dog house, and it's got a place for them to run around. That chicken coop's, you can see, 18 feet long, and it's about 5 feet wide, and it's got an inside spot. Some of the things that you need to have for a chicken coop is protection on all the sides and on the top. I mean, we've got lots of predators. We had a mink we caught this year and killed that ate a couple of our animals. We've had skunks. We had, I think, 3 we killed last year in our live trap. We have marmots that don't eat your animals, but they start digging holes, and they eat your cucumbers, which is even worse. And so we have a live trap. So if you're near the river, you're going to have some kind of live trap. And live trap's good to have because you don't want to kill your neighbor's cat or dog. But peanut butter works real good for bait. And then you don't have to kill them yourself. You can actually call the county and they'll send somebody out, especially if it's the skunk. That's the best way to do it. Roost. Chickens want to roost. So a good 2x2, just placed through the wire, places for them to jump up on is great. This coop works just fine, but I think if I was doing it over again at some point, I'd like a larger, taller area. I mean, the more room you give it, the better off. Again, these type of chickens have done really well in this confinement, and I have about 10 chickens in there. I wouldn't go any more. That's too many. So I keep about 10 in this type of area.